You are live.
We are live and you can hear us because the microphones are on, because Kimbra set everything up because she's wonderful.
Aww. I didn't know this was a musical.
It's a musical. Well, no, it's not. But
We should do a whole episode that's just a musical.
nobody wants that, Kimbra. Nobody wants that.
Hi, Stacy.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Stacy. That's not even a good song. I mean, not the lyrics are fine, but the tune is not good.
Hello, Stacy. Hello. What up, Stacy? What up? What you doing? What you doing?
Why do you say hello, mascots? Fintastic cruising mascots.
The animals.
Oh, those mascots. What are you doing?
My butt sticks to this chair.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hi, Gina.
Hello, Gina. So
we have one household watching us.
Yes, and we appreciate that it's 2 devices, 1 household.
You should go ahead and start up a couple more devices each. Just kidding.
How you guys doing tonight? I ordered 3 of the ordered the mesh hats. I'm telling you.
Nice.
I know I'm not wearing one tonight, but I do kind of favor those these days. They're very comfortable, especially in the heat. They're the perfect hot hat of this format.
He freaked out last weekend. We were packing to go to see his dad, and he's like, "Where are my hats?" I found them.
You found them. Yes, indeedy. You found them. So, if anybody's just tuning in, watching this after the fact, what we're doing now is just kind of hanging out for a few minutes until it turns 9 o'clock at the time of the recording, which will be in about 13 minutes if you are watching this later on. And then we will officially start the podcast. We will officially start the podcast. Dart League.
That sounds cool.
That does sound cool. I can get behind that. Dart League.
I'd like to do
I can get behind too many beers. Beers and axe throwing probably don't mix. Darts,
have you ever been to a Ren fair?
Darts, okay. Well, at the Ren fair, it's very controlled. But if it was just like us in charge, drinking and throwing axes seems like a terrible, terrible thing.
I get to throw axes in a week.
Yeah, we're going to a medieval fair next weekend.
I'm very excited.
Tomorrow we go to Repticon.
Because we need more of those.
I mean, we're not planning on buying any more live animals, just a bunch of dead ones.
A bunch of dead ones.
Hundreds of dead ones. Well, maybe not hundreds, but
a lot.
Mice and
they're expensive too.
Mice, basically. Frozen mice.
Dead
mice
animals are expensive.
Yeah, not as expensive as the live ones though.
That's true. Although some of those live ones are reasonably priced.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then Sunday we're gonna go walk around at Circle B.
Yeah.
And then this Monday is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Right?
It is.
Yes. We were at the Straz last night watching our friend do a play. Oh, pardon me. Jekyll and Hyde, which was good. Not the musical version, ironically, since we were.
No, but it was really interesting because there were only 6 actors, and they had kind of their regular parts, but they also played other parts throughout, and you always knew who someone was supposed to be based on kind of how they sounded or moved or the lighting.
It was a little confusing at first.
I was confused at first.
But once I caught on.
Yeah.
Oh. Ugh.
Don't do that.
Hey, my throat just got
Hi, Sean.
Raw.
Welcome.
G'day, Sean. Yeah, the play was fun.
Yeah.
And one of our coworkers is in it. So that's always fun and stuff. Hey, we got Kenneth in here. Hey,
Oh,
Kenneth.
hello.
How's it going? Typing on the tablet, so not tagging. That's okay. We've only got 7 people in here right now, according to StreamYard. So there's not a lot of people to tag. Kenneth, we were telling Sean and Alana last week, I don't know if you were there, that we are definitely going to be on that cruise in October.
We just haven't booked it yet.
We haven't booked it yet, but that's just logistics. We are definitely going to be on there. So, yeah.
What are you doing, dog? The dog's on the extension cord. Of
Okay.
all the places in this room to lay, he's chosen the extension cord.
And there's Mama Sandy. Hey, Mom.
Hello. Get off the extension cord. Come on. Lay in your bed.
Why are you obsessing with the dog on the extension cord?
Because it's noisy.
It's almost disruptive. Oh, yes. So it's not Vegemite throat, Sean. I don't know if you, I think you were in there when I think I said this last week, but when we saw my dad, I had him try Vegemite and he's a fan. So maybe it's genetic. I don't know. He liked it though. And he was, we had breakfast with them twice, I think. So
yeah.
Yes. So both days he went back for more voluntarily. So the first day it could have just been him being polite, but he probably would have told me if he didn't like it. The second day he went back for more and he added more.
He put a little more on there.
He was, I mean, because I was like, Dad, I think I put it on for him the first day and I spread that Vegemite thin, like real thin, because you don't want to overdo it with Vegemite the first time. So, but then the next day I was like, look, if you like it, you just keep building up, it's like any other addictive drug. The first one's free and then you just you got to add more to get the effect. That's what I hear anyway.
Oh, Matt.
But Vegemite's not addictive.
It's just gross.
It's not. Man, wow. I don't even know.
What?
I don't even know what to say to that. You got snow flurries in Missouri?
Gross.
Snow flurry in Missouri. We don't have any of that. What's the temperature currently? It's 70 degrees currently. You know what we have in Tampa? Random legs showing up in the bay. That's what we have.
They found
Tampa.
A second leg. Did you see that?
Did they confirm it was the second leg?
What I read said that it was another leg. So 2 legs. I don't know if it was the same portion of a leg.
I don't know. There's a tattoo on the one leg that they released.
Yeah, but that was like the lower part of a leg. And then what I read said that it was another piece of leg.
Somebody pulled a Dexter, and it's in McKay Bay, which we pass every day when we go to work. And we were coming home from work. This happened yesterday, where they found it yesterday. We were coming home from work, and there's like a ton of SUV cop things. Vehicles.
Some of them like still pulling in and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there were like probably 15.
Oh, at least, yeah.
There was a lot, and we're like, what is going on? And they were all SUVs and no lights. And then we got home and then we had to turn around and go to the play. But we got home and I was flipping through like YouTube stuff, and I see an article, or like a video article, I guess you call it. And it was like, leg found in McKay Bay. And I'm like, oh, wow, somebody found a leg in McKay Bay. I didn't know that was called McKay Bay. And then we're driving back because the play's in downtown where the aquarium is. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm pulling up McKay Bay, which is really annoying because it's like tiny blue letters on a blue background. And I zoom in and the letters didn't get bigger. The things in, and I'm like, I can't read this in the dark in the car. But then I pulled it up in a different map. Yeah, that was McKay Bay. So there were still cars there. Had divers in the water and stuff.
Looking for more body parts.
Yeah, I mean, Dexter was in Miami, right? So Tampa Bay's not that far of a move. That's what, Interesting too, the tattoo thing. There is a famous story, and I think there's some truth to it, about a murder that was solved with the help of a shark. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
And a tattoo plays a role in it.
Did the shark have a tattoo?
The shark, not that I know of. They never, I don't remember if the shark was Yeah, I think the shark was caught. So no, the shark probably didn't have a tattoo, or that would have been documented. But basically, and it's actually, and I'm pretty sure that this took place in Australia, Sean. So they found a tiger shark. It was a tiger shark that was caught, and in the stomach of the tiger shark was a man's arm with a tattoo, and it was like a boxing, like fisticuffs tattoo. And so they were able to use the tattoo on this arm to find out who it belonged to, and the medical examiner was able to look at the arm, and the shark, it was severed with like a tool, like a saw. It was not severed by a shark bite. The shark just scavenged it. Tiger sharks are scavengers. But they were actually able to solve the crime and find the body of this person that was murdered because of the tattooed arm in the belly of the tiger shark. That's pretty cool.
What
right?
we're learning here is get tattoos.
So
when you get killed.
Right, exactly. Yes. Hey, Spikers.
Hi, Cindy.
We were just saying that we are going to be contacting you at some point here to book that cruise. So not exactly sure when we're going to book it, but we are 100% going to book it. So yeah. But yeah, so legs being found in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in.
It's about the excitement that we've got going on.
This is the world that we live in. Yeah. And what else exciting? Oh, well, sad news. Winter the dolphin, which is not the aquarium we work at, just get that out there, passed away, which is really sad. And the dolphin was young, 16, which is young for a dolphin. But, Winter was rescued in like 2005. So my feeling is like, wow, that dolphin would have died in 2005. And what's really cool is to see like all the outpouring of just respect. I haven't seen I haven't seen any negative publicity, surprisingly, because it's a cetacean. But what I forget about Winter that I was reminded of watching some video clips and stuff tonight is that Winter was basically had a disability, because Winter didn't have a tail, obviously, and ended up with like some scoliosis problems. So one of the things that Clearwater Marine Aquarium did a lot of with Winter, and this is especially maybe relevant with Veterans Day being Thursday, is people that had disabilities, people that had missing limbs, they would give them opportunities to interact with Winter. And this was very inspiring for a lot of those people. So really cool, like a really cool role that Winter played. So R.I.P. Winter. Todd, welcome, Todd, says, late, just got home from cruising since October 30th. 2 ships, 5 ports. Of course, it's snowing when I get home. Well, hey, that's awesome, though. Tell us what ships, where did you go? Remind everybody of that.
So, since we're 2 minutes out, for anybody that doesn't know how this works, in a couple minutes, we're going to start the podcast portion. Going to go about an hour or so. We may communicate a little bit with the chat, but for the most part, we're just going to do the podcast stuff.
Podcast thing.
At the end, we'll roll the credits and then hang out and chat with you all some more.
Some people like right-handed and they do other things left-handed. Which would be the... Anyway, okay. Yeah.
I got the new iPad mini. It's pretty cool. I was really excited about it.
That was her birthday present from her mom from October 13th. So it took a bit. It was get here.
Ordered at the end of September, and I got it at the beginning of November. So basically, the whole month of October, there was no iPad. But I've got it now.
There you go.
And it's perfect. It's purple, too.
Deer hunting season started today. It's usually cold for opening every year. So I don't know. Does deer hunting happen simultaneously in the country, or is it like opens in Missouri on this date? And I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
My mom has a lot of land, though. She lives on a lot of land. So I know they have people that are hunters that actually pay them to hunt on their land.
It's time, Matt.
It's time. Okay. Ooh, Mardi Gras, MSC Divina. Nice. Nice, Todd. Very cool.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Come with me, we're going on a fantastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might not have thought of. All of the things under the water. Nature surrounds us with elegant features. You can't go on a cruise and not see the creatures. So let's make some magic, let's get ecstatic. Instantly classic, maybe romantic. The wildlife around you, cinematic on your fantastic cruise.
Bon Bini, everybody, and thank you for joining us in another episode of Fintastic Cruising. I am Matt.
And I'm Kimbra.
And today is episode 116. We don't always say the number.
I thought it was 15.
No, it's 16.
16, okay.
116. It's a lot of episodes. So. I say so. I'm confident in that number, which is unusual, but
because normally you've got it wrong.
I often get it wrong. Not usually. I think if you look at 116 episodes, you'll find that I made a mistake less than 10 times.
Okay.
That's pretty good odds, I think.
Speaking of, for anybody who, well, I guess for people that are like watching us right now or watching us before the podcast itself comes out and you only listen or something, we did last week's episode on Monday. And I put it up on Podbean right before we went on now. So
just a little behind.
Late, but it is up and available for those of you that at this point have probably now listened to it because this is the episode after. So mostly what I'm saying only really matters for people that are watching us right now. And those of you that are watching us right now probably also watched us last Monday. So...
Well, if you listened last week and you were like, why was it late? Now you finally know. So there you go.
There we go.
It's our bad. So anyway, right. Last week we were going to talk about Coco Cay, but we ended up spending the whole time talking about the cruise itself instead of our time in Coco Cay, which was our only port stop on the cruise, which was fine because we enjoyed the ship. So we had a lot to do on the ship. And went to Coco Cay. And I don't know, anything else we want to talk about before we get into Coco Cay?
I think we need to talk about the group cruise.
The group cruise.
Eventually, I'm going to promote it enough that people are going to book.
Here's the scary thing. After our cruise in a couple of weeks, currently, that's the next cruise we have booked.
Yeah.
Not until 2023.
There are others
we are going to go on one in October of 2022.
But it's not booked.
Not yet, but it will be. So
our group cruise is on the Carnival Pride, leaving out of Tampa, March 12th, 2023, going to Grand Cayman, Mahogany Bay, Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel.
That's right.
Yes.
Join us.
It's going to be awesome.
Fantastic.
Come with us. fintastictravel@gmail.com.
Come
Send me an email.
Sorry.
We'll go on a fantastic cruise.
and before we started, Todd was saying he just got back from a cruise. He was on Mardi Gras, and MSC Divina went to Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, Nassau, and Ocean Cay, and he says he snorkeled in Ocean Cay. We're gonna have to catch up with him on that one because that is something that I've been asked about. I've never been to Ocean Cay. I've tried to do some research on it. Haven't had a lot of success, but yeah. So I'm very interested in finding out what kind of experience Todd had at Ocean Cay under the water, under the sea. I don't know. I'm just feeling musical tonight.
Apparently,
for some reason.
You've been singing since you weren't musical earlier. You were just like sitting on the couch. You were sleeping.
I fell asleep. I'm woken up.
Obviously,
I have awoken from my nap, and now I must sing. Don't worry, I won't really sing that much. But what?
Nothing. I'm just laughing at you.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So before we get into Coco Cay, actually, I do want to talk about something.
Okay.
Because our upcoming cruise on the Scarlet Lady is going to Bimini.
Mm-hmm.
And also Costa Maya. But Bimini is what I want to talk about because I've been doing a lot of Bimini research this week.
Oh.
Because I've never been to Bimini. And so I'm very curious about it. So with the help of Brian, our friend Brian, I was able to figure out exactly where the Virgin Resort, the beach club, Bimini Beach Club is at. Because it's not labeled on the maps that I found, at least I found an updated picture of it in the Apple Maps. The Google Maps, it was just like construction, at least on the version I have. So Apple Maps had a more updated thing, but it wasn't labeled Bimini Beach Club. So I wasn't able to really see it. If you just search for it, you don't really get the right thing. But we are going to be scuba diving in Bimini, which is a good thing to do. If you like snorkeling and scuba diving, Bimini is a good place for those activities. And so I've been doing some research trying to figure out, what's the deal, because we're there all day long into the evening. Like we're there till like 11 p.m. or something, right?
10 p.m.
10 p.m. So that gives us a lot of time. We're going to dive earlier, and then we have the whole like afternoon and evening to try and figure out what else to do. So I'm real curious to see how the snorkeling from shore is, but I'm very hopeful for that. But then there's like two, basically from what I can tell, there's like two dive shops on Bimini, the main Bimini island. And one of them is the one that Carnival uses to book its scuba diving, the reef shark snorkel that's very popular right now. A lot of people doing that, as well as some other underwater stuff. Now they offer a hammerhead shark dive, but they don't offer it for the cruise lines right now. It starts like, I guess, next month or something like that.
Yeah.
So
December.
I was like, sign me up. Hammerhead shark dive. Heck yes. Well, I went to the actual website of this dive shop, and it looks like they are doing them right now. It starts in November, according to their dive shop, and goes through April. But it's expensive. It's pricey. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's some wrecks. There's the reef sharks. This dive shop offers a lot of cool things. Now, from what I could tell, the prices are pretty comparable, I think, from what we're getting from the cruise line, as if we just booked on our own. We actually were curious, though, if you're a diver, that when you charter a dive, that sometimes they will provide weights and tanks only, and other times they will provide all the gear. Other times you have to rent like your BCD and your mask, fin, snorkel, all that sort of thing. It just depends. Usually they'll tell you. So it didn't say anything about that on the Virgin site. It just said the dive, right? It was like, bring your sunscreen, reef safe sunscreen and stuff, but it didn't say anything. So we called them because we didn't want to find out that, on top of this fee, you also have to pay for rental. Because on their website, on the dive shop's website, all their dives include tanks and weights only. So you have to rent all your gear.
But the cost is also less than what we paid.
It is, but they also don't include, they didn't include the tax on the website. There's like a tax or something.
Tax
Yeah.
fee.
So it would be pretty close. Like the normal rental fee for a full setup is probably $25 to $50. So that would make it more expensive than the cruise one, if that were the case. So we called Virgin and we got somebody they called us back, and they had no idea. They have no idea about scuba diving. They were like, well, of course, honey. They were so friendly.
She was lovely.
She was like,
like over the top,
excreting friendliness. It was almost too much. She was like, of course, you don't think they're gonna. She had a little bit of a southern drawl. You don't think they're gonna have you bring your own. Where would you keep it, in your cabin?
It's kind of how she sounded.
No, lady, that's not what we think. We think we're going to get there and they're going to be like, oh, by the way, if you didn't bring your own gear, we're going to charge you an extra $35. And if that's the case, we'll bring our own gear. If not, then we probably won't. We'll just use your gear. We'll just bring our mask, fins, and snorkel like we normally would on a cruise. So she looked it up and assured us that that was not necessary, which is probably true. That is most likely the case, but we wanted to just get a little confirmation, which we didn't really get. but
she was very nice.
But it was an interesting conversation regardless. So no, Sean, Bimini is not the thing that covers the passengers on a boat. What? I thought he was going to make a bikini reference. Bimini covers the I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that maybe
it's an Australian thing.
Maybe it's an Australian thing. But yeah, so anyway, lots of cool underwater stuff, it seems, on Bimini. So I'm pretty excited about it. And we thought about like trying to just do the Hammerhead shark dive this time and just going straight through the dive shop. But we found that they have these really cool deals where you can take a ferry from Fort Lauderdale to Bimini and stay for 4 nights. And it includes like 7 or so dives, your hotel stay, and your ferry stay. And the dives are Hammerhead shark dive, reef shark dive, the wrecks, turtle rock, all these
stingrays.
Cool stingrays. So it includes all of that, and it's not cheap. It's like $1,300.
No, but per person, for what you're getting,
yeah, the ferry ride itself is like $300
per person.
The Hammerhead shark dive is $300 per person, so that's $600 right there.
Yeah.
So for another $700, you're getting
the rest of those
a bunch
dives.
more dives, plus you're getting room and board. For 4 nights. So it's not maybe. Well, I mean, if honestly, if you added in the cost of dives that they're charging like $150 is what we're paying to do 2 tank dive, it might end up just still being cheaper than a cruise if you were going to dive that much.
$100 to $200 a night for a hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was comparing it to a cruise though. Like like that's expensive for a 4-night cruise.
Well, yeah,
but you've got to factor in the dives. Like if you factor in 6 dives or 7, 8 dives, whatever it is, 7 dives I think is what we determined. So let's say 6 dives, that's 2, 4, 6, that's $450 there. So I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. We're going to look into doing that. It only goes through April though, because I guess that's when the Hammerheads are in town, and then they go off to their other places and stuff.
Oh, apparently a Bimini is also a canvas boat cover.
Okay. Good to know. I wonder if Bimini was named after that, or if that was named after the island of Bimini. Which came first, the boat cover or the island name?
I don't know. I know when we had baby stingrays once, we named one Bimini.
We were naming them after all the different
islands.
Caribbean islands. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And then it went to somewhere. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I don't know.
It went to another AZA facility.
But yeah, so I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that.
We're doing a dive.
We are doing the 2 tank dive. One's a wreck, I think. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The Hammerhead shark dive, just because this is cool, right? The way it works, and this is why I think we shouldn't do it this time. The way it works is you get there like I think at like 11 or something, 10 or 11 in the morning, and then they take you out and it
starts at 8.
Oh, is it 8 in the morning? Is that what it said? Okay, so this is an all day.
I think that's what it said. Experience. Maybe that was one of the other dives.
I thought it was 11 because
it might be.
But anyway, basically they bait the water so that the big hammerheads come in, and they said sometimes it takes 20 minutes, sometimes it takes a few hours to bring the hammerheads in. But the Bimini is shallow water, so the dive's usually in about 20 feet of water, which means your tank lasts forever. And they're like, look, we will stay out there. You can do multiple dives. We'll stay out there until we either run out of bait or we run out of sunlight, whichever happens first. So it sounds like, and they're like, we encourage people to come up and like eat and then go back in. So that's a long dive. And they also encourage you to wear a full wetsuit with hoods and a glove because the water temperatures, while the hammerheads are in town, is usually in the low 70s. And so staying underwater for that long under those conditions, you lose your body heat. So it gets chilly. Chilly. Yes.
That sounds really cool.
Sean says he sits vindicated since somebody pointed out that a Bimini is here. I was like, I thought he was making a reference to like a bikini and a.
I thought it was just an
Bimini.
Australian thing. Usually when I don't understand
what
he's talking about, I'm
What's
like,
a
oh, it's
billabong?
just an Australia thing.
What's a billabong, Sean? That's an Australian. Anyway, yeah.
Is it our hammerheads as dangerous as bull sharks?
No. Hammerheads don't really bother people. There's very few cases where hammerheads have caused issues, and honestly, bull sharks in clear water are not a problem either. It's bull sharks in murky water when you have problems. So, and even then, you don't usually have problems. But I would dive with bull sharks for sure. I would dive with bulls, tigers, hammerheads without a cage or anything. Definitely, like not even. Don't even have to think about it. White sharks, I don't know if I would dive outside of a cage. I'd have to assess the situation. But any other species of shark, there's no other species of shark I wouldn't dive with out of a cage.
Okay. Bull sharks make me a little nervous. I'd need to be in the right situation. Like if it was like a controlled-ish thing.
Well, we've seen videos where like Joe Oceanside's like diving and there's a bull shark.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But then you also see the other stuff.
What, on Shark Week?
No, not on Shark Week.
Don't get me started on Shark Week.
Just in general, like if it was super clear water, that'd be different, like you said.
Yeah.
But if the water is murky at all, that would make me nervous.
The shark you have to worry about is the one that you don't see.
Right.
So if you see it, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Because it sees you and it knows you're not your friends, not food, or at least you're not food anyway. Yeah, Stacy, when you move to Florida, get certified and we will dive together. Absolutely.
Yes.
So a cool thing, I think it's called the Sapona. Is it Epona? That's from Zelda, right? So I think it's the Sapona. I looked it up today.
That's a thing.
Is that the thing? The SS Sapona. I think we're going to dive on this. It's a good snorkel or dive excursion in Bimini. And the cool thing is it's in like 15 feet of water, which is why it's a good snorkel or dive, but it's a concrete boat. So it's, stuff in the ocean falls apart real fast, but concrete boats don't. And you say, well, why would you even make a concrete boat? That sounds really stupid, right? Well, this concrete boat was from the World War I era when steel was at a premium, or something was going on with steel. I read it today. I forgot, but something was going on where steel was not available. And so they were making boats out of concrete. And this particular boat was used in World War I think towards the end of World War I, and then it was sold to somebody, and then it ran aground and it was sold for scrap or something. And that's how I guess it eventually ended up in Bimini. So yeah, how about that? That's the cool thing about shipwrecks. Like there's usually some interesting history that goes along with the ship. Sometimes not the wreck, because sometimes things are sunk purposely for like artificial reefs and stuff. But sometimes there's interesting stories with the wreck, but there's usually history with the ship, because a lot of them are older ships that you find. Yeah. Well.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
So maybe we should talk about Coco Cay.
Wait a minute. A billabong is like a natural dam or collection of water you could swim at or picnic at. That comes from dictionary.au. Isn't that the Australia.au?
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Or Sean,
I know.
We call it. Or maybe Alana. It might have been from Alana.
I know Billabong is a brand.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Billabong. Is that how you say it? Billabong. 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 Billabong? I don't know. I've just butchered that.
I don't know.
Let's talk about Coco Cay. Was it a perfect day at Coco Cay?
It was a pretty good day.
It was a good day at Coco Cay. let's start by saying that the weather was supposed to be terrible when we were at Coco Cay, and it was not.
It was a wonderful weather.
It was nice. This has happened to us. We've been on 3 cruises in the last 3 months.
Yes, and there's been possible bad weather things.
Yeah, imminently bad weather. Every single one of them was threatened by bad weather. This one I actually thought had the worst chance for not being bad weather because it just looked like it was going to rain all day and be windy and terrible, and it just wasn't. So there you go. We had really good weather in Coco Cay, so that helps. It was a little overcast in the morning, but not
wasn't that
not bad.
Mm-mm.
And then the sun came out, and yeah, it was beautiful. So this is the first time I've been to Coco Cay since the remodel, and your first visit to Coco Cay. Of course, the biggest improvement to Coco Cay is that there is now a pier that the ship can dock at. No more tender boats. This is Royal Caribbean, so we can call them tender boats still. No more tender boats. You pull right up to the pier and you just get off like most other ports, and it's wonderful. Wunderbar.
They have fun little shades all along the pier too.
Yeah, and it would also be a
Colorful
rain, keep you out of the rain. It's probably the nicest pier I've ever seen, because usually it's just a concrete stretch of
This
concrete.
one's like all done up.
Yeah, pretty cool, pretty sweet. So what were your first impressions, since you had never been there before? What were your first impressions of Coco Cay?
It looked like so I saw it, of course, first from the ship, and it looked pretty cool. I thought the water slide stuff looked cool. It wasn't until after we were actually walking around the water slides that I was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in those water slides.
No?
No, because my thing with water slides is if I'm in a tube, it's fine.
Oh, right.
But those water slides are like the body ones, and I hate the feeling of like going over each of the connections. It hurts like my back. Because like the way that it hits,
sections,
yeah, I hate it.
Mm.
And I'm like, that slide is way too tall to have that hit me that many times. So I'm not interested in it for that reason. But if I could lay like on a mat, or that's what I meant, or a tube or something, then I would absolutely be about those slides.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thing with water slides. I'm not a big fan of the ones where you lay on your back and they're tubes, or they have the little places where they come together, the seams.
They hit, so the bones, what are those? The bones on your back?
Your scapula?
I don't know.
Your shoulder blades?
Those. That's what hits.
Scapula
and it hurts. I don't like it.
Name. Yeah. I always just picture it like ripping moles off my back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant. But if you like that kind of slide, it's pretty impressive, right?
But other than that, the place looked amazing.
Yeah. No, and if you're into that.
That's just my opinion on the slide.
When I was a kid, I didn't care about that. Like, I was cool with that when I was like a kid and a teenager. Now I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan. Like when we went to Volcano Bay, we did those water slides.
We did a couple of them,
and I was kind of like, I don't.
The other ones
like
were
them.
better.
I like the other ones, yeah. But it's tall, it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
What about the hot air balloon?
I would do it.
Okay, well, I would video you from the bottom, from the ground.
Yeah.
You know how I said I would dive with any species of shark without a cage, except maybe a great white? I will not go up in a hot air balloon. So if I sounded tough, like, I'd dive with any species of shark, I am not afraid, it's just because I have other fears, like being in a balloon that could fall.
So here's my thing on hot air balloons. I know like Coco Cay has a hot air balloon, and like Disney Springs has that big hot air balloon. If I'm going to go up in a hot air balloon, I want it to be like a real one. Like I want one with the little basket that goes up on its own way high. I don't want one that's got like a big platform connected to something for a bunch of attraction sort of thing. I want to go in a real hot air balloon.
Where you actually move from point A to point B and
I don't necessarily need to move,
No.
but it needs to be like, I don't want it tethered to the pier. I want to be in a real hot air balloon.
You know,
can just go up and down. That's fine.
I think Todd did the balloon because he said the balloon was a blast. So, you know, I don't know statistically how safe hot air balloons are. If I had to guess, I would probably guess that it's probably statistically very, very, very safe. And it's irrational that I would have that fear, but I don't have a desire to do it either. I don't enjoy heights. I can do I can zip line if I have to. I can do heights if I have to. I'm not that terrified of heights, but I don't enjoy the thrill of heights. And so if there's got to be there's got to be something that's drawing me to the height, not the height itself. The experience of going in the balloon, the view is not going to do it. If you go up there, you'll find this weird species of flying gharial, then I would be able to do it. But
I'd like to go up in a hot air balloon because I think they look very cool.
Yeah. Todd says he's afraid of heights and he said he felt very safe on it. So yeah, if you like that, and it doesn't go up super high, I don't think, but it probably does give you a really beautiful view. Like you're your own drone, you know, like you're a human drone. I'm a human drone. No. Sorry. It's the Cramps.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So yes, last time I was at Coco Cay, not nearly all that stuff was there. You know, there were some chairs and umbrellas. There were a few small structures and stuff, but that was about it, you know? Yeah, it's very built up. Everything's like every inch of it that you go to, it's been humanized.
Yes, there's definitely
like it looks like you feel like you're at a theme park.
It did kind of
felt like a theme park.
It was like a miniature Volcano Bay. Super miniature Volcano Bay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more bars, there's more eating venues. We did not really experience all of that. We needed to be there like 2 days, I think, to really experience all of that. We did eat at the buffet,
which was really good.
It was very good, and more than just, you know, your standard buffet on a private island. It had stations. It has more than that. And they used to have that as well, but I think they've expanded on that a little bit. But then I know that they have a famous chicken sandwich, which we did not get.
Couldn't find where to get that from.
Yeah, we didn't. Our focus was not on the food venues.
I did want the mozzarella sticks, but I didn't know where to get them from.
Yeah, I'm sure we could have figured it out if we had done. Oh, Todd says it's 415 feet up.
Oh,
Todd is full of information for us. Thank you, Todd. So there's good food. You know, I know there's some cool bars. If you're into bars, if you're into just like laying on the beach, there's some really nice, serene areas to do that. One of the things that I really liked is they had a lot of freshwater showers and foot washers and stuff. They used to have like a little box you'd put your feet in and rinse them off before you got back onto the tender boat. And maybe it had running water. I don't know. But there's a lot more opportunity. It felt like you were at a resort or something. Like it was nice. I didn't see any iguanas. I'm sure they're still there, but I used to know where they were. And this time I didn't know where to find them. And we didn't spend tons of time walking around the island. So I didn't see any. They're not native to there, but I always like seeing them, you know.
So I was reading, and I actually don't know what you said we didn't see.
Iguanas.
We didn't see any iguanas. But one of the first things that we saw as we were walking over to the beach, so Matt has his new underwater phone camera case thing. So he had that all in there ready to go. So he was like, "Oh, give me your phone. We'll film on your phone," which we didn't film very much on this cruise, but that's beside the point.
We got a lot of underwater.
Yeah, that's basically what our stuff's going to be. But we did, you know, we got off the ship and we filmed a little bit, but he was holding my phone and we were walking and we just like stepped off the sidewalk and I saw something up in a tree. So of course it was a bird. And I said, "Matt, phone. And he looked at me and he said, "What?" And I said,
Wow.
look, give me my phone. And by the time he realized that I was pointing at a banana quit, the bird was gone.
Man, do you want me to call the bus so you could throw me under it? So yeah, and then we tried to find that banana quit for quite a while, but it quit flying around by us. It's probably like, man, she was really mean to him. I'm gonna go find a nicer girl,
whatever,
to let her take a picture of me.
Whatever. Well, we saw a lot of other warblers and stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Stacy's saying he'd be okay with it tied down. Todd is saying it can go to 450 feet depending on conditions, and he said the only thing was if you moved, everyone had to move to keep it balanced. See that right there makes me nervous.
That's why you have to go up in one of the little ones. So it's only like 2 or 3 people that can fit in it, and it's different.
How many people fit in the one in Coco Cay?
Well, I don't actually know what that one looks like.
It looked like it was a 2 or 3
But
person.
If it's anything like the one at Disney, that's like a giant flipping platform, and it's just.
Oh, I don't think it's the size of.
No, it's different than the one at Disney Springs.
I don't really know that. It might not be. So that says made him a little nervous, but he has a rule. I cannot tell my children to face their fears if I don't face mine. That's valid. That's valid. That's why I don't have kids, Todd.
Oh, yeah. See, that's like it's like
small,
hollow
right?
in the middle, but you've got people walking all around. So if anybody moves from the side, that's not what I want to do. I want to do like the little basket, like Wizard of Oz.
I'll be clicking my heels saying there's no place like home. Anyway, so the reason that I wanted to go back to Coco Cay, the reason that I love Coco Cay is the snorkeling. And so if you've never been to Coco Cay, but you are going and you want to snorkel, you kind of go to the left when you get off the ship. And it's that sort of the first beach that you can get to. You'll see it's marked. There's like a dive shack and a snorkel shack and stuff that you can.
It's Chill Beach.
Chill Beach. Yes, thank you. Chill Beach. And you can snorkel there. So in the past, you could go out from Chill Beach and there's like a little rocky area that you go that kind of is like makes for a real sheltered, beachy, shallow point. And then you go past that and then it's like seagrass beds. And then you get out to the end of the swim area where there is an old wrecked plane and there's a concrete replica of supposed to be the Queen Anne's Revenge ship and stuff like that. And they've got lifeguards on platforms. Well, they changed that. And for some reason, they moved it in. So the plane is no longer accessible. You can't go past the lifeguard. And the lifeguard is closer than the plane now by about 20 feet. And they put up a wall to the left, which to the left of the seagrass, all the way out to the lifeguard. And there's a big rock barrier that separates you from like the ship and stuff. But there are big rocks underwater. That is where I like to spend most of my time because that's where all the cool stuff, that's where the cool kids hung out, right? So they've roped that off. You can't go there anymore. So needless to say, I was a little upset at Coco Cay when we got there because I was like, great. I'm glad you made Coco Cay great for everybody else, but you ruined it for me. I was not happy at all. I was very angry. So what they did do is they extended the snorkel area further down the beach. Now, this placated me a little bit because there are big rocks, and this is good if you're a less experienced snorkeler, a kid, something like that, because you can go right by shore. You'll see a lot of animals. There won't be the same amount of diversity, and they'll be on the smaller side, but you'll see a lot of animals, and you can get to them right by the beach, and you can literally just swim a few feet and stand up if you need to. So that was okay. That was all right. But I still wanted to go over by the rocks and stuff. The other thing that I have to rant about a little bit here, and this has happened to me before at Coco Cay, is I'm a rule follower typically. And so I get there, we're the first people at Chill Beach pretty much that are getting ready to go in the water. And I go over to the snorkel shack just out of courtesy. And because I see they've got
a sign up.
Did they have a sign?
There was a sign.
Says you must wear a snorkel vest. And I'm like, oh, snorkel vest, bane of my existence. I get it. It's for safety. I don't understand how it's for safety. It doesn't work as a safety device to me, but whatever. It's the rules. Fine. I'll follow it. They don't charge you for a snorkel vest. You know, if you're going to rent fins and a mask, you have to rent those. But if you want a snorkel vest, they'll just let you use one. So we get our snorkel vests, and, you know, they pull the strap and it makes you feel really uncomfortable, especially if you're a dude. And then if you can't get all the air out of it, every little teeny tiny bit of air out of it, then you're also like a cork, so you can't go underwater. And it's uncomfortable. But here's what my real rant is. Like, I get it. It's probably insurance, something stupid like that. But my problem is, every time I've been to Coco Cay, I get the snorkel vest, and then about halfway through the day, I'm out snorkeling, and I see all these people who are usually younger or less capable swimmers. Let me just say that. And they're not wearing snorkel vests, and nobody says anything to them. And that happened on this trip too. I don't know why I keep going and getting the stupid snorkel vest, but I'm just like, no, they say you have to wear a snorkel vest. Anyway, that was my rant. So I was not having a perfect day at Coco Cay. Now, something happened that helped that a lot. And this is, I'm not sure if I forgive Coco Cay for this, because this is just something that happened to happen to us. But it definitely turned my frown upside down. And I'm going to show you.
Oh, you're jumping right in.
Yeah, I'm going to show you what it is, what we experienced. And I'm just going to.
Now they can hear you.
Now you can hear me. So this shark, which was probably a 4 or 5 foot lemon shark, came swimming by. And this was in the shallow spot. This was like right by the beach, we were right up against those big rocks I was talking about. And boom, here comes this shark. And I look over and I see, because it's a little bit murkier because you're closer to where people are kicking up the sand and stuff. Not bad. You can see it's pretty good visibility. But I look over and I'm like, is that like a big tarpon or something? I'm like, no, that's a shark. So I followed it for a while. And then unfortunately, Kimbra got to see it as well.
Did you just say unfortunately?
Oh, I said fortunately.
You said unfortunately.
Why would I say unfortunately?
I don't know.
There's some of those big rocks right there. So this is like right by the beach. On the other side of those rocks is beach. Literally
this
beach.
was actually, we had stopped.
Did you see that? Did you see it? Now then the shark came back. And the shark came back the very same day. The shark came back. Kimbra saw it first this time. And then it was swimming the other direction. Probably the same shark.
It swam right under me. I was looking at fish.
It is a fish.
Right. Well, I was looking at small fish.
So I followed it again. And for quite a distance, it was swimming at a pretty good speed. But it wasn't like trying to, I don't think it was like, it was just moving. It was just cruising. It wasn't like taking off like scared or anything. It was just cruising along.
Yeah.
But then it went into the area that's like cabana. You have to pay extra. Right where the seagrass is, there's ropes a little bit into the seagrass, and so I stopped following it, let it go. But you know, this is the first time I've ever seen a lemon. I think lemon sharks are extremely cool sharks, and so I was super stoked to see the shark twice.
Yeah, it was really cool. When we first saw it, it was right after I had to switch out my camera battery because the GoPros die fast. So I took that up and switched it out and dropped our snorkel vest off and came back, and I was looking at a stingray, and then suddenly I see Matt like zooming past me. Yeah,
I was like I'm swimming next to the shark. So it was really cool. And I don't know, based on some other videos I've seen recently of Coco Cay, there are a lot of lemon sharks in that area.
Stacy said they have a name for him, but forgets what it is.
For that particular shark?
I don't know.
I don't know if he was talking about that or not. But yeah, so that was cool. Now the other kind of cool thing that happened to us at Coco Cay is we were out swimming, and they have the lifeguards on platforms. And, so they are watching you and making sure that you're safe and everything. And we were out by the one lifeguard, and we were the only ones out there. and he got our attention, and he just started talking to us, and he started talking to us about dolphins, and he was very knowledgeable about dolphins, like
scientific name.
Yeah, he spit out their scientific name, and I was like, "Oh, you've got my attention now." Like he was like, "Oh, hey, let me tell you this fact about dolphins," and I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And then he was like, "And let me tell you this fact about dolphins." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then he was like, "Did you know that Tursiops truncatus?" And I'm like, "Now you've got my attention." So he proceeded to tell us about dolphins for a long time. Now, it was cool. At the same time, I was wearing my weight belt and treading water. So I was kind of like, okay.
It was a little long.
Thank you. It's probably how people feel when they meet me. Like, will you shut up and let me get on with my life? I don't want to learn this much stuff. But no, it was very cool. And I really appreciated that he had that knowledge. I asked him if he was like studying cetaceans or something, and I think he was interested in animal behavior, and he was interested in other species there too. But it was really cool. Stacy said he hangs out around the cabanas. I saw some footage in the seagrass, and there were a bunch of lemon sharks swimming around. So I know that lemon sharks are pretty common in parts of the Bahamas, like Bimini. It's one of the lemon sharks are actually, well, I don't know if great whites have surpassed that because of all the popularity, but probably not. Probably actual real science. Lemon sharks are the most studied shark in the world. And a lot of that has to do with a very, very important research station on Bimini that studies lemon sharks. And Bimini is the mangrove swamps of Bimini is their pupping ground. So puppy sharks. Do.
Really?
Yep. Anyway, that did change my impression of Coco Cay, at least for the day. I'm still a little upset. I asked them why can't we go to the plane? And I got what I would say is a BS answer. The guy was like, "Oh, it's too far." And I'm like, "Dude, I've been here before. I know where the plane is. Like, it's literally like 20 feet behind you. Like, it's not that far. It's not that far. And why can't I go over by the rocks?" And so I don't know. I was annoyed. We saw the scuba divers. They went over in that area and passed through the big rocks. And I know that, scuba diving there looks kind of cool, but if you can go on those rocks, you can see all that stuff for free. So that was my thing, but now you can't go on the rocks. So it was kind of a bummer, to be honest, but still we had a really good experience snorkeling. Saw a lot of cool stuff. We did the cruise creature last week with the furry sea cucumber, which we saw a bunch of those. Those are really cool. We saw a lot of different marine fish, a lot of stingrays, lots of stingrays. So it was good. It was really good. The guy on the platform, the dolphin man, he was telling us that they see green sea turtles there fairly regularly, not all the time, but he was like, "Yeah, I saw one last week. It was hanging out and stuff." So
that was the only like big cool creature I was hoping to see that we didn't see.
Was it a sea turtle?
Yeah, because we saw the shark and we saw the stingrays. I wanted to see.
You can find another toy that's less loud. How about this? Is now the ASMR podcast. Let us tell you about Coco Cay. Go find a toy that is not so loud. There's your penguin right there. There you go. He's not interested in that. Because
you know what's funny? He's grabbed the penguin and the Christmas shark. I think he knows that it's winter time.
That is true. That is true. Maybe we should get him different seasonal. Those of you listening, we are talking about a dog. See if he picks out the different seasonal toys as are appropriate at seasonal times.
We could try it. That means he gets new toys.
No, not unless we get rid of some of the other ones.
No,
Reno has more toys than I do, and that ain't right.
I don't think that's true at all.
It's true.
Matthew.
It's true. Reno has more toys than you have dice sets.
That's a problem.
Right?
But I just want you to know this
Both sides
whole
of that.
this whole room is what? What'd you say?
I said both sides of that is a problem.
What?
You have too many dice sets.
No, I don't. What I was saying is this whole room is full of your toys.
My toys? Really? There's an
That
entire wall of Harry Potter pops behind
those
me.
are collectibles.
Okay, don't get me started. Anyway, Coco Cay is still a cool place. And I think for most cruisers, Coco Cay has been upgraded. And that's it. That's all they're going to think is that it's been upgraded. They won't have the rants that I have about the snorkeling for most cruisers. I think most cruisers are going to see everything that they did as an improvement. And most of it definitely is an improvement. It's a really cool island, and it's really nice that you don't have to take the tenders and stuff there. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you want to do the creature?
Let's get into the creature. Now, we weren't in Nassau.
No, we were supposed to be.
As I crunch some ice. We were not in Nassau, but we were supposed to go to Nassau. We did not, but we did see a Nassau Grouper. And the Nassau Grouper is probably my favorite grouper. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
I love Nassau Groupers. I don't know why. They're just cool. I just think they're really cool looking. Like,
I don't think I have a favorite grouper.
I mean, you're not a groupie.
Maybe I am just a groupie, and I like all groupers equally.
I mean, when you see like a 5-6 foot, several 100-pound Goliath Grouper,
that's what I'm waiting for.
You're going to be impressed.
I am like desperate to dive or be in the water with a Goliath Grouper.
Well, all we have to do is dive in the Gulf right by us, and we'll see Goliath Groupers. Every time I've dove out there, I've seen huge Goliath Groupers, which are impressive and very cool. Tiger Groupers also very cool. I always feel like they don't belong in the Caribbean, but they are native to the Caribbean. But they're very interesting. I think just because the name Tiger, I'm like, we do have tiger sharks. I don't know.
I like Graysbees.
Graysbees are cool, but they're like the little groupers.
They're pretty.
They're pretty, but they're like red hinds. They're just not. I don't think of them as groupers.
Yeah.
I know they're a grouper, but they're not a grouper.
The black grouper, I can always identify the black grouper, so I do like that one.
Black groupers are a very close second for me. I do like black groupers a lot, and they're bigger than the Nassau Grouper typically. At least the ones I see tend to be bigger, and they are very beautiful grouper as well. Very cool grouper. Gag grouper, not that impressive. They're just kind of pale.
Yeah.
Just,
little gaggy.
Little gaggy. Those are the groupers that I see most commonly. I'm trying to think if I see other grouper species very often.
I've named, I think, all that I know.
Black grouper, Nassau Grouper are the ones I usually see in the Caribbean. And then Graysbees and rock hinds and red hinds and stuff like that. But yeah, the big groupers I see are black groupers, occasionally tiger groupers, and Nassau Groupers. But Nassau Groupers, I just really like them. I'm going to put a picture up that we took from Coco Cay. So if you're listening, I'll try and describe it to you. This was actually a small Nassau Grouper. This one was probably maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet long. Maybe a foot, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The thing is, as they get bigger, they still kind of have this pattern, but as all groupers, they can change their color and fade it out or make it more distinct. They go from this pale color to a dark kind of tan and brown. But the thing about groupers that helps you to ID them and tell them apart is they usually have something on them that they just cannot change. And for the Nassau Grouper, it is that black patch that is right in front of their tail, which maybe this is why I like them so much, because that little muscle area right in front of their tail that they use to swish their tail back and forth is called the peduncle. And so it's like, I saw Dan's here from UNCD Sound like peduncle D? Should I start calling peduncle? But see, if you say peduncle, it also sounds a little creepy, though. I think like peduncle. I'm like peduncle. I don't know. So we won't call you that, Dan. But the peduncle is a really cool name, I think, for this part of the fish, and they have that black marking there that doesn't change. They cannot make that fade. They can't make it do anything. That's just the way it looks. And so if you see a grouper and it's got that, then it's a Nassau Grouper, and that's that. Now Nassau Groupers do get pretty big. They can be like, I think 55 pounds, 4 feet long, which sounds big, but compared to a Goliath Grouper, they're not that big. But they're a decent sized fish. They're one of the larger fish you're likely to encounter in the Caribbean. They are, however, critically endangered, which is unfortunate. Critically endangered due to overfishing and reef loss and stuff like that has happened. And here's the thing about these guys. So grouper, like the Nassau Grouper, they have spawning areas. So groupers are into grouper sex. Yeah. And we're not talking like a few, we're talking like thousands of groupers gather in spots, and they just have mass spawning things. So yeah. And the problem is people that fish have learned where these are. And so it's really easy to wipe out huge portions and populations of grouper like Nassau Grouper by just going there and catching lots and lots of fish. Now that's the bad news. The good news is that since the Nassau Grouper has become recognized as critically endangered, a lot of places like the Cayman Islands and Florida have protected them, and they've put up fishing regulations and restrictions. And this is an example of conservation that is successful. So in what I do, on the podcast and professionally, I have to talk a lot about conservation. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like talking about conservation. I didn't choose the career path I'm in to talk about recycling. Like, I hate talking about that garbage. I don't like talking about plastic straws and red tide and global warming. I hate talking about that stuff. I'd much rather tell you about all the fascinating and incredibly awesome things of our natural world. But unfortunately, I have to talk about these things because I don't want the cool stuff to disappear. And so it can get really depressing. But this is an example where human activity has actually started to improve things. So when you do make changes like to fishing practices and stuff like that, species can bounce back. In the case of the Goliath Grouper, their largest spawning area is actually in Little Cayman Island now. And this is, I'm pulling up this article so I get the numbers right here. But basically, not that long ago, this spawning ground had been reduced to, like, in 2009. So we're talking 2009, a little over 10 years ago, about 1,200 fish in this spawning ground of Nassau Grouper. Since then, we put these restrictions and stuff in place, or the Cayman Islands did. And in 2018, they counted 7,000 Nassau Grouper in this spawning ground. And that's mostly because of these different restrictions and just public education and stuff like that about the grouper. So it's cool. I like it when I can share like conservation success stories so that it's not all doom and gloom. But the Nassau Grouper is a really, really cool fish. Right, Reno? He smells my bourbon breath. All right. Anything you want to add about the Nassau Grouper?
It's Nassawsome.
Was that the first one you ever saw? Was in Coco Cay?
No, I think we've probably seen him somewhere else.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing him recently. It used to be when I see them in the Bahamas. So they're all throughout the Caribbean, but they're not as common. Like, you don't see them in the Southern Caribbean.
Did we see any in
They're
the
in
Keys?
Belize. I don't think we saw any in the Keys.
Then that might be my first one.
That's what I was thinking. I see them Grand Turk.
I know I've seen black groupers before, and we saw the black grouper I don't know if you saw black grouper.
We've seen black grouper. We saw black grouper in Aruba.
No, I know.
Curacao,
the one
maybe.
in Coco Cay. I saw that one as we were swimming out.
Yeah, I got video and photos
or two
of
of them.
Yeah.
The ones that I saw.
Oh, I don't know.
You didn't see those.
Okay. I saw some though. I saw black grouper there.
Okay.
Because I was looking through my pictures and stuff.
Got it.
So, and I have a picture actually of, I forgot to put that up. If you are watching, you can see this is a spawning ground in Little Cayman, and you can see all these fish. These are all Nassau Grouper, and you can also see a different, like a color morph, which is basically them just changing their colors, because you got to attract the ladies, so you change your colors and stuff.
You don't ever change your colors for me.
I'm not that talented. Sorry, just not that good.
You didn't pull the picture off.
I didn't.
It's fine. I can do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it?
I think that's all I got. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, it's time to head for Scarlet Lady. And until next time, seize the day.
Have a fantastic week, everybody. Okay, we're back. We're back in the room.
We are back in the room.
Back in the room. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry if I got a little preachy about the Nassau Grouper there. I don't know. I'm like,
there it is.
I like teaching people about animals. I don't like teaching them about how to recycle. But anyway.
Okay.
Cool.
Todd, I got your email.
So, any fun stuff for after the credits here? I need to get some more Buffalo Trace.
You had an opportunity to get that on Freedom.
Yeah, I still have 3/4 of a bottle.
Oh, then you don't really need to get.
I just need to put out the word JT and say, JT, next time you see it, buy me like 2 or 3 bottles. That'll last me a lot longer than him.
Yeah. What's going on in our lives? What do we have going on?
I mean, we talked about it before this. So we're going to the reptile thing tomorrow.
Repticon.
We're not going to buy pets. We're going to buy food for our pets.
Yes.
That's the plan. We'll see if that.
We don't have space for another live animal.
No.
If we really needed to, we could figure out how to make it work.
Sell the dog or something.
The dog doesn't take up any space.
It takes up all kinds of space. You kidding me?
Not reptile
but
space.
Luna could be everywhere in the house if it wasn't for the dog.
Luna didn't even come out and see us. Half the time I don't even know that we have a lizard. She was much more active when she was little.
What is Dan saying? You know what they say in South Florida? Go on vacation there and find the keys to your trip.
Yeah.
I know what I can talk about. I had an experience and a half today. I took some kids to a natural area to do water samples, and they were an energetic group of children. I'm just going to say that. But walking back on this trail, and it was like overcast, and I got swarmed by mosquitoes. Like I got covered in mosquitoes. So I'm back there with all these kids with mosquitoes in this mangrove trail. We're supposed to test water. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to do that. So we brought the water with us. We left the trail and then we tested the water. But before that happened, because I was in the front, so when you were walking, it wasn't too bad. When you stopped for a while, I was stopped waiting for them to catch up, and I just got it was bad. I'm not itchy right now, but I bet tomorrow I'm going to be like an itchy mess.
Welcome to my life. Everywhere we go, we're walking around and I start smacking my legs and itching my arms, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Really?"
They were feeding off me. I killed several of them and they were full of my blood. So
yeah,
I helped to. I'm sure I helped to bring on more mosquitoes into the world today. The ones that escaped my smack. Dan says, think about coming out to Seattle for a cruise. Maybe I'll show you guys around. Hey, that'd be cool, Dan. Eventually we'll
Matt,
do that.
I need us to pause.
Okay.
So I can figure out how to edit. So I think that's probably long enough.
Fine.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So the problem is Matt likes to talk, and then I get to edit. And when we talk after the podcast for like another 20 minutes, I have to figure out where in that 20 minutes we're ending the audio part. And it's really hard because Matt says something and then he talks for another like 10 minutes. And I'm like,
what I do.
I need you to pause long enough that I can find the pause.
And Stacy. So, yeah.
Matt won't admit it, but I'm pretty sure he likes Reno.
He makes a heck of an armrest.
That's what you always say.
Because the dog, okay, so, this is kind of interesting. We sit on the couch like most Americans and watch TV way too much, but we have our sides, and it's the opposite of this.
This is bed, though.
This is our bed situation, but our couch situation, I'm on that side, you're on this side.
Yeah.
Reno lays next to me. He's glued to my hip. He doesn't just lay next to me. He physically bonds to my body, and then he just becomes a natural armrest. Like when he's not there, I'm like, where's my armrest on this side? I have one on the right, but not on the left. So I just lean on him like a little furry armrest. Works out really well. He seems to enjoy it.
Poor dog.
Poor dog.
You just use him for your arms.
He uses me for my.
We do need to. We've talked about it before. We need to like switch seats and see if it's you or.
Oh, it's me. It's all me.
Whatever.
All right. Well, you know what? It is 10:02. Maybe we'll go check out the Down Under cruises.
I'm like really tired.
Thank you, Kenneth. It says great show as always. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
We're going to go, we're going to hang out over there for a little bit and then, call it a night.
Oh.
What?
I had the wrong banner going. I forgot to switch it. That's fine. I'm sure nobody actually reads the banner. But if you do, sorry, that was the wrong banner. Half the time I forget to do the banner, so it can't be perfect all the time.
No, that's true. Being perfect is an imperfection. That's what I used to say when I was a teenager.
So here's a story about perfect. So one of our coworkers was walking around yesterday giving everybody stickers. Did she give you a sticker?
I did get a sticker, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was a big sheet of stickers. I don't know what all was on the sticker, but I'm assuming it was all like bugs.
No.
No, they weren't. The shiny ones?
They weren't all bugs.
Insects? Is that?
Nope.
No?
I got a frog.
Oh.
Yeah. She told me what she did to you.
Oh, she told you?
Yeah.
So she comes over and she's like grabbing these little stickers and putting them on like the corner of everyone's computer. And she comes over to me and puts one on the corner of my computer and it says perfect, which is lovely because that's what I always say I am. However, of all of the things on this giant sheet of stickers, she picked the one with a spider on it. I'm like, this is lovely, but I'm like terrified of spiders. And she was like, oh. So she took it away and then found another one that said perfect.
See, the person that sits behind me, Jen, she had sticker envy because she got a sticker. She was like, look, I got a sticker. It says good, and it's got a smiley face on it. I'm like, mine says great, and it has a frog on it. She's like, ah. All right, let's cash in our chips and call it a night.
All right. A night.